noticed how some of those ancient legends, those stories from way back when, they just have this power to captivate us?
It's like they tap into something deep within us, this fascination with the past and these grand narratives that have survived for centuries.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, right? Like, could there be some truth hidden within these myths and legends? I mean, they wouldn't have lasted so long if they were just pure fantasy, would they?
That's the intriguing question we're diving into today, exploring whether these stories that have been passed down through generations might actually have roots in reality.
So basically, we're on a quest to separate fact from fiction, or at least try to, which can be pretty tricky, right? Especially when we're talking about stories that were originally shared orally.
Absolutely. The challenge is trying to piece together those fragments of history, the whispers of events that might have inspired these enduring tales.
Okay, so where are we headed on this deep dive? Which legendary locations are we going to explore?
We'll be venturing into three of the most famous: the lost city of Atlantis, the epic battleground of the Trojan War, and the mysterious kingdom of Shambhala.
Three very different legends, but each with its own unique allure. Let's start with Atlantis. I mean, who hasn't heard of the legendary island kingdom that vanished beneath the waves?
A story that's captured imaginations for centuries, thanks in large part to the philosopher Plato, who first described it in detail.
Yeah, Plato really brought Atlantis to life, right? He painted this picture of this advanced civilization, incredibly powerful, and then poof, gone without a trace.
And for the longest time, it was considered just that, a captivating story, a philosophical thought experiment.
But there have always been those who believe there's more to it, haven't there? That maybe, just maybe, Atlantis was based on a real place.
Precisely. There's a persistent notion that the Atlantis legend might be grounded in actual historical events.
So what kind of real events are we talking about? What could have inspired such a dramatic tale?
Well, one theory that's particularly intriguing connects Atlantis to the Minoan civilization, which flourished on the island of Crete thousands of years ago.
The Minoans, weren't they known for their sophisticated culture and maritime prowess?
Yes, and their civilization met a rather abrupt end. Around 1600 BCE, a massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, now Santorini, caused widespread devastation. Some researchers believe this catastrophic event, with its tsunamis and ash clouds, could be the historical basis for the Atlantis story.
Wow, I can see the connection. A flourishing island civilization wiped out by a natural disaster. It's certainly a story that would stick with people, a memory passed down through generations, perhaps becoming more embellished over time.
It's a compelling theory, although the timelines don't perfectly match up with Plato's account.
All right, let's move on to another legendary location, one that's been the subject of countless books and films. Troy. The Trojan War, immortalized by Homer in the Iliad and the Odyssey, was long considered pure myth.
Those epic poems, with their tales of gods and heroes, definitely fueled that perception.
But then came a groundbreaking discovery, right?
Indeed. In the late 19th century, an archaeologist named Heinrich Schliemann began excavations at a site in modern-day Turkey, believing it to be the location of ancient Troy.
And he actually found it, right? The lost city of Troy.
Not only did he find it, but the archaeological evidence suggests that Troy was a major city with a history of conflict, just as Homer described.
So while the gods and goddesses might be literary embellishments, there's now a strong case for a real Trojan War, a historical event that inspired those epic tales.
Exactly. The discoveries at Troy highlight how legends can sometimes have a kernel of truth, a historical foundation that gets woven into a more elaborate narrative over time.
Okay, so we've got Atlantis, maybe inspired by a real natural disaster, and the Trojan War, likely rooted in a genuine historical conflict. Now let's venture into a more mystical realm with Shambhala.
Shambhala. A legendary kingdom often described in Tibetan Buddhist texts as a hidden paradise, a place of peace and enlightenment.
It's a much more spiritual concept, right? Not necessarily a physical location in the same way as Atlantis or Troy.
Exactly. Many scholars believe Shambhala is primarily a metaphor for inner spiritual development.
So it's not about finding a hidden kingdom on a map, but rather discovering that place of inner peace and enlightenment within oneself.
That's the essence of Shambhala. It represents a state of being, a realm of consciousness that can be accessed through spiritual practice.
So while Atlantis and Troy might be linked to historical events, Shambhala serves as a powerful symbol for a more internal journey.
It reminds us that legends can function on multiple levels, reflecting history, embodying cultural values, and offering profound spiritual insights.
It's fascinating how these ancient stories can hold such diverse meanings, and how exploring them can enrich our understanding of the past and ourselves.
And it makes you wonder, what other seemingly impossible tales from the past might actually contain a grain of truth, waiting to be discovered or reinterpreted?
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it, that perhaps the line between myth and reality is not always so clear-cut.